The controversies over Kerala temples got bigger this Deepavali. Close on the heels of the mystery of the missing gold and the famous Sabarimala temple, under scrutiny now is the famous Guruvayur temple. A 2019 audit of the temple, which has come to public now, has flagged missing assets including gold and ivory, which were allegedly handled without proper procedure. The audit also highlighted a financial loss of rupees 79 lakh related to deposits in the gold scheme by the State Bank of India. According to the report, several temple assets including lakhs worth of donations and offerings from pilgrims, like 2,000 kilograms of cookware, seem unaccounted for. 530 kilograms of ivory and a large quantity of gold was unaccounted for, according to those reports. The Guruvayur Devastham Board, though a statutory and independent body managing 12 temples in Kerala, said the discrepancies had been resolved and submitted a detailed affidavit to the Kerala High Court. But the audit report has led to political allegations against the LDF government, which has been in power in Kerala since 2016. Listen in to BJP Chief of Kerala Unit, Rajiv Chandrasekhar.
This is what the shameful part of Kerala's politics is. 4.5 kilos of gold go missing from a sacred shrine like Sabarimala. And the Chief Minister's first response is that it is a slip-up. And he said that with a view to deliberately influence the judiciary and influence the police, to say that there is no big crime. But the public outcry has been so significant, so severe, so deep, that it is beginning to be difficult for the Chief Minister to wiggle his way out and try and push this under the carpet. What the High Court said yesterday is the absolute truth, which is that there is a larger conspiracy. It is not enough to just pick some poti guy and put him in jail. Who enabled this? What is the role of the Devastham Board? How come the Devastham Board did not follow its rules? What is the Devastham Minister doing? How long back did this start? Which other Devastham boards have temples where money or gold is missing? These are all issues that will be legitimately investigated if the government had a modicum and an ounce of accountability to the people that they serve. But they don't. For them, everything is an opportunity to fool the people, to somehow distract the people.
So are those just political questions raised by Rajiv Chandrasekhar, or is there a serious issue in Kerala's famous temples? Joining us this evening, Vivek Srivastava, pro-LDF political analyst, Vinita Hariharan, political analyst who supports the BJP, and NDTV's Ashwin Nandakumar. My first question to you, Ashwin. On the one hand, there's the larger issue of temple administrations as a whole. But in this case, what's the response you're picking up from the Guruvayur Temple Board?
Devastham chairman multiple times, he was not available then, indicated contact with SV Shishir. So exactly.
We may need to fix the audio with Ashwin Nandakumar. Sorry, Ashwin. We may need to fix that audio with you, but let me go across to Vinita Hariharan. Vinita, the response is that this is purely some kind of mischief as far as this report is concerned. All details have been submitted before the Kerala High Court, says the Devastham Board. They will come out in public tomorrow. So it's purely a political allegation from the BJP. How would you respond?
No, absolutely not. As we can see, the High Court order itself has very clearly said in all details about the kind of the so-called, the nexus, the unholy nexus between the Devastham Board officials and all of this gold theft that is alleged, which is happening, from the temples of Sabarimala and now Guruvayur as well. These are the holiest temples in Kerala, which, hosts about 40 million pilgrims annually and has a scale of operations of more than 1,000 crores of rupees annually. So the Kerala temples are no longer safe with the Devastham Board officials, and we have to go beyond Devastham Board and look at having temples governed by trusts which have ownership from various stakeholders across the spectrum, which may be comprising of retired IAS officers, the CAG or the audit officials, and the devotees themselves. That is the trust framework within which big temples like Somnath have been successfully operated in India. So coming back to the Kerala's story, the High Court itself has very clearly delineated the role of the Devaswam Board in actually conspiring to get this gold theft out of Sabarimala itself. It's all there in the details in the High Court order, where the manuals of the Devaswam Board itself was not followed, and there was this kind of a hidden agreement between the Devaswam Board officials and this Mr. Poti, who has committed this alleged crime of diluting the gold in the Dwarapalakas. So he has actually retained about 400 odd grams of gold, and it was silent. Everyone was silent, and he's actually written a letter to
That's
the
a long.
asking for permission to use this for.
You made a long comment with multiple allegations. Vivek Srivastava, you heard what Vinita is saying. Respond to that.
I was listening to it, all fictitious, all imaginary, all mischievous, all, stories. Somebody steals, somebody gives a share to the board. I mean, do you have something to support your allegation? You have nothing to support your allegation. I'll tell you, it's a fight of ideology.
I have the High Court order copy with me. Please read it out.
No.
Please read it.
Does the High Court
Whatever I
order,
said is quoted from the High Court order.
Yeah, has the High Court order said that money was passed by this gentleman who has been arrested to somebody from the board? Has it said? No, it has not said. So you are saying it from your own side, right? So let that.
I haven't said that money has been passed. I have said that there's gross negligence of the Devaswam Board officials in handling the gold plating of the Dwarapalakas, and the High Court has actually ordered for an SIT probe, going beyond just this temple.
These are all facts. These are all facts that you put forth. Go ahead. Go ahead, Vivek.
Government supports it. We have no problem. We welcome the court inquiry. Nobody has said anything. I mean, what is factual about it? It happens across the nation. But I'll tell you where the big ideological fight is, Veera. The ideological fight is, do you want the temple, the funds of the temple, the assets of the temple, the gold of the temple, the ornaments of the temple to be controlled by the priests of a particular caste, or you want it to be handled by boards, handled by the government across the nation? Why do you want this Brahminical supremacy everywhere? That is the fight. The left, and also the governments in Tamil Nadu, for example, Stalin's government, we believe the governments must control the shrines, must control the assets. The governments don't belong to anyone. They don't belong to a specific party. It could be a BJP's government today. Tomorrow it could be a Congress government.
Vivek, I agree, to the point that you're making. Let's leave that aside. I get the point that you're making in terms of government controlling the temples. Even if governments are going to be governing the temples, if there are going to be discrepancies of this nature, who is to blame? You had one in Sabarimala. Now there are questions raised about Guruvayur. Does this hit at the core of the question that you are raising? Are governments capable of administering temples? Is the question that's being raised. Go ahead and respond.
You should, Veera, ask the BJP spokesperson, the lady sitting over here, who's a political analyst, to tell me in Uttarakhand, in the shrine where the Honorable Shankaracharya sits, I am talking about Jyotish Math, was there a discrepancy in the gold? Yes or no? Who's responsible? It's the government of the BJP over there. So, and that is not really being controlled by any government as such. So what do you say about it? So if you start playing mischief, just to give the government a bad name and give stories so that the control can be snatched from the government and handed it over back to the priest class, sorry, we don't support it. And we also advocate that the priests of all temples across the nation should belong to all castes, which means it should not be that you have a reservation for one particular caste to become the priest. Puja karane ka adhikar, pujari banne ka adhikar belongs to every community and caste. So if you want Brahminical...
Point taken, Vivek. Let me ask Vinita for a response. Vinita, the response, the core of the point that Vivek is making is that all these allegations are malicious, primarily aimed at hitting out at the government, which is trying to ensure social justice as per constitutional norms, even when it comes to priesthood. Respond.
No, as I said, I was only unquoting the High Court's the order that has come out, and in all its details, it has said that it is alleged gold theft from the temple precincts. So, and there is no point in diverting this issue to Brahminical supremacy and getting the control of the temples with the priests. We said that these temples have to be handed over to the trust, where there's a balanced stakeholders, a balanced spectrum of stakeholders there, including the representatives from the pilgrims payments from the retired dyers, officers, and all of that. We're never talking about handing over temples to the priests or any kind of Brahminical supremacy. Please do not convert every other debate into, Brahminical supremacy debates. This is about this particular case, about the, consistent failure of the Devasam board in handling the temple properties in Kerala. This debate is about
Okay,
that.
so I will
Debate
put
is
this
about,
question. I will put
looking
this
at-
question in a nutshell to Vivek. Vivek, the point is that you are merely using ideological positions to divert from inefficiency of the government in mismanagement of the temple.
Yes. Now, I would like to ask a counter question. What does she mean by a trust? If you feel a particular officer of the Kerala police or the Delhi police or the Punjab police, he is guilty of misconduct, if it ever does happen, which I do not know if it has happened, then what do? You hand over the police and give it into another trust, private hands. Do you do that? There is corruption in this country across the nation, and we all know about it. You had a particular government in Delhi which came fighting on the plank of anti-corruption. But however, that is not the solution. This trust that you are talking of,
All right, you've got that very quick response from you, Vinita, because I can
No,
go back
that
to
was just
Ashwin
a
on the phone line.
suggested
Very quick
roadmap.
response to that
It
comment
was a
from Vivek.
suggested
From you,
roadmap,
Vinita.
and I would request the panelists not to just focus on the suggestion or the recommendation given by me. It is about, we have to focus on the failure of the Devasam board in handling the temple property. There has been a very, very focused allegation by the High Court itself, and they have ordered for a wider SIT probe. It's not the first time that it's happening. It's been happening since 2019 and even before that.
That's
So
as far
this
as
is the kind
Sabarimala
of,
is concerned.
inefficiency
The
of the
focus now
Devasam board
today is
in
about the
question.
allegations at Guruvayur. Ashwin Nandakumar, who we couldn't get through live, is on the phone line with us. Very, very quickly, Ashwin Nandakumar, there's a fierce exchange going on between Vinita and Vivek here. What does the Devasam board say to the allegations that have been made as far as this audit report is concerned?
Veera, we tried talking to the commissioner of Guruvayur Devasam board. Multiple attempts were made. He was refusing to comment. Then NDTV, we connected with the SV Shishir, who was a former administrator with Guruvayur Devasam. What he said is these allegations are baseless. In fact, the audit which was done was, in fact, he's taking a revenge out of it. He's acting like a hound instead of a watchdog, is what was the comment that was given. When probed where did the tusk was taken, 540 kilos, he stated that it was in fact given to the forest department. When probed further whether any records of it was maintained with the forest department, he didn't say clearly about it. The NDTV also tried to contact the forest department. Unofficially, they said the tusks are with them, but still no proper records of it, neither in the Devasam board nor the forest department coming out to say clearly that these records are there, the stock of the tusk is there with the forest department.
Right, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out, but unfortunately we've run completely out of time. Both Vinita and Vivek have made some strong points. We'll keep a close focus. We'll get the two of you back when we have more facts and figures on display from that controversy.